The two boys here got a year's contract, which was fantastic because in modern times they're the first English kids to come out here and play in Brazil. And one of the boys, Mohamed, he's got now Flamengo interested in taking him, so that would be fantastic for him. And Flamengo is one of the biggest clubs in the world, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil. So, you know, for him to play, it would just be incredible. I think they'd both prefer to stay and play football in Brazil because their first exposure to football came through us in our Brazilian soccer schools, and when they sort of left our schools at 17, 18 and went to play, you know, conventional football in ordinary clubs, they didn't like it and thought it was, you know, different to everything that I'd showed them. So one day they came to me and said, we've saved some money together, we want to go out to Brazil and see if we can play in a club there. So lo and behold they did, and they're out here. Yeah, I think they are more disciplined here, the players. You even see the young players, when the coach comes into the training arena, straight away they're quiet, they're looking, and they're eager to learn. Coaches in England will say they have problems getting kids to, you know, they say kids just want to play a match all the time, or they want to mess about, or you don't get that here. There's a real seriousness in their approach to football. I think they enjoy the training. You can see when anyone kicks the ball here, they play football with a smile on their faces, but they are very disciplined, and that's a big difference to the players at home. I think the players of the era of Pele, Juninho, Rivelino, some of those guys, or Paulo Cesar from the 1970 team who we've been with, they would say that now in Brazil football isn't as good as it was. It isn't as skillful as it once was, and I'm not sure if that is the case. I think obviously because they played 30 years ago or so, they've got a bias towards that particular era. I think the football here is as good as it has been, but you see children in the favela, you see people on the Futebol de Salao courts here. They play differently too. The culture here is different. People want to be with the ball all the time. In England, we have a problem with players, I think, sometimes don't like to train, and there's almost a race after training in a club to see who can get out of the car park first. Whereas Brazilian players, you've got to drag them off the training pitch and they'll be there all day. So it's a different culture, and I think in England, to improve the football, you've got to change. You've got to change the culture, and you know, that's as much a part of our work as the actual stuff with the ball, the training. I think we're trying to get a different mentality amongst young players. With our soccer schools, I think my main aim was to produce a better... I think, in essence, I watched Juninho when he played for Middlesbrough, and he was different to any other player I'd ever seen play. And he was exciting. When he got the ball, the crowd would sort of, you know, straight away, people would sit up or stand up, or there was an anticipation and a buzz. And I think I wanted to make footballers in England that, you know, could create that same sense of excitement among supporters. Another player that was at Middlesbrough at the time, a Brazilian Emerson, said to me, in Brazil, first the football is the spectacle, is to entertain, and after is the result. And I'm not sure if that is quite the case, but I think here there's a balance in terms of being entertaining and being and going for the results. And you know, if we went to see a movie, we're not just interested in the end. 90 minutes to watch a football game is a long time. And I think I've wanted to make football more entertaining and make players that maybe go on to play in the highest levels in England that have the same skills, you know, that previously we'd have just seen from players in South America. So at the minute we've got like 9 players playing for either the Scottish or English junior national teams from our schools, which is fantastic in a short space of time. So I'm hoping eventually we'll get some in the senior team, and you know, maybe a future Michael Owen or a Beckham will have come from one of our schools. And you know, kids, instead of talking about the tricks of Ronaldinho or Ronaldo, will be talking about you know, they'll be marvelling at the skills of an English player. We've got under 16 players in England, under 18, and in Scotland in the under 18s. So yeah, it's, you know, it is good. And who's, you know, it's not for sure that any of them will go on and play senior, you know, national team football. But I'd hope that 1 or 2 of them will. And I think as time goes on, you know, there's going to be more and more coming from our schools into that sort of level. I think one of the main differences in what I've tried to introduce in England has been the game of Futebol de Salao, the game with a smaller, heavier ball, and that's had a big impact, not just with the improvement in the skills of the children in our schools, but many of the professional clubs, Manchester United, Everton, West Ham, Middlesbrough, they've introduced the Futebol de Salao with their academy players. So, although not a direct result of our, kids from our schools, it's great that children in those, top clubs and in their academies are benefiting as well with that. And I think the Futebol de Salao is probably one of the most significant changes in football in England over the last few years. And it's going to be exciting to see how many players come out of that. We've around 450 schools, and we're not just in England, we're America, the Far East, Australia. So it has become a big thing over, very quickly. But I think that the reason our schools have grown is not, we didn't set the thing up as a business, as something to make money. It was because the quality of the training was good. And it's not really as important for me to say how many schools we've got. It's sort of to see the quality of the players. And as I say, we've got junior internationals already that have come out of our soccer schools. I think that's the most pleasing aspect to me.